You are looking live deep in the heart of Austin, Texas. We are getting ready for the matchup of high school soccer here on the Vype Sports Media Network. It is this matchup between the Veritas Defenders and the Regents Knights. Big matchup here in the capital city of Austin, Texas. Ready to get this show on the road. Good evening, everybody. My name is Dalton Brown, and we come to you live on a cool, very cool night in Austin, Texas. It feels absolutely cold. While it is only about 40 to 30 degrees here, it feels about 10 to 20 if you're an Austin resident. Definitely not no North Texas residents here in any way, shape, or form. Now, these two teams coming into these matchups, I was not able to get any records whatsoever. My Max Preps was unable to show me any records of any sort, so we are running off of what we know as of right now in these two teams. For the Austin Regents Knights, we have a good set of players coming out onto the field. Kyle Nunley is one, Harrison Wu, Damian Davis, Luke Driver, Thomas Laster, Luke Massey, Ryan Collins, Ben Vaughn, Tobin Simmons, Lucas Laird, Tyler McKinney, Evan Vaughn, Becken Chodnewicks, Logan Fossis, Asai Hernandez, Pearson Whalen, Cohen Weed Anders, J.B. Hanniger, Grant Nunley, and Crawford Hanniger. As for the Veritas Defenders, same thing here. We got Micah McGinty, William Schultz, Charlie Palmer, Daniel Copeland, I should say, Hunt Epps, Cannon Tuba, Jed Fuller, Henry Olszewski, gosh, Lee, you can tell some of these names are going to be tough to pronounce throughout the game. Lyle Torburn, Shepard Smithiel, Brock Palmer, Patrick Kennetta, and Lucas Erb are the players on that team, and Braden Nelson. And the national anthem will get underway, so we will stand for that anthem here on the Vype Sports Media Network. And the national anthem performed here over the intercom here at Austin Regents High School. We get underway with today's matchup on the pitch here in Austin, Texas. These two teams ready to get at it on a very cold night, a night that I'm really glad that me and my cameraman who was able to come by, Justin Davis, were able to get us a nice warm room, I should say. And I got to give a big shout out to Austin Regents for the way they've handled the email that I sent. I thought I sent them an email that I was coming before. I accidentally never sent it, so it ended up coming in late at night, and I thought, oh crud, I'm not getting this booth. Well, I got a response within 2 minutes, and they said, hey, by the way, we're going to provide you with a filmer. I'm like, what? Are you serious? Everyone knows that it's usually Madeline Cuellar If you have listened into my coverage of Maynard Mustangs football or any other football games I've done with Madeline, she's usually doing the camera work or somebody with us. So, big shout out to Austin Regents for the hospitality. Game gets underway here in Austin, Texas. Kicked over to the left side. Now with the ball is number 10. Kicking it over to number 4. That is Charlie Palmer. Kicking it back over to the left side. Gets the ball right back over. Veritas is able to come up with it. That's number 13, Jed Fuller, who unfortunately had to take it away there by number 10, Ben Vaughn. Vaughn, the kicker on the high school football team here in Austin Regents. Bringing it over to number 15. That is Evan Vaughn again. Kick is up and it is goal! Ryan Collins, the southpaw, gets this thing going early on here in the first quarter of action. 1-0 Regents. And I'll tell you what, Ryan Collins saw an opening on that one. He ran over to the right side where we saw Ben Vaughn just take control of the ball the whole time. He was able to find some open space, get that pass over, and just like that, get this thing going early on. 1-0 to score. That's some momentum you like to see, especially in a soccer match. Over to the right side of the pitch in the outfield. Bringing it back over to the middle side, over to number 3, William Schultz. Back over to number 21. That's J.B. Henniger. And this kick is going to go out of bounds over to the right side, so it will be thrown in. But I'll tell you what, that was, like we mentioned earlier, that southpaw kicker, number 9, Ryan Collins, who we heard earlier is one of the leading scorers on this team when I talked to Coach downstairs. So somebody that contributes to this team very often, so it's not rare you're going to see him score. Up in the middle, and blocked. It will be a penalty, so they'll be thrown right back in. Tried to find some open space, but unfortunately went into that box. You cannot enter, so they will kick it right back out. It goes back over to the right side, tries to shuffle it back over to the guy who brought it back in. Right side again, right near the line, but unfortunately unable to do much from there, but they will continue with the ball thrown right back in. This action gets underway very quickly. To the left side. And taken and brought back by number 24, Crawford Hanniger. Rushing for it and kicking it out of bounds to avoid any danger is number 2, Micah McGinty. So for those of y'all that obviously don't know, it's the first time I've been to a soccer game in probably 15 years that wasn't MLS. Last time was in Hutto when I played for a team called the Grasshoppers. I just want to mention that fun little lore story. Played for one season when I was 6 years old. And got very close to a goal. I got probably within where Justin's standing, my filmer, from where I am. I got that close to the goal and still somehow managed to shank it, which if y'all can't see, I can practically touch Justin from where I'm at right now if I reach my arm out. Still managed to miss it. Shuffling with it, that's number 6, Luke Driver. Over a couple heads and a head ball of his own, right onto the chest of number 7, Thomas Lassiter. Lassiter gets it right back, and it is stopped by the goalie, making a routine play on that one, so he'll go ahead and just toss that one right back out across to the other edge of the field. That's number 23, Patrick Canada, able to get a piece of the ball. Couple things to mention about this Austin Regents team that I was able to get some notes on from downstairs. Couple of these guys have brothers who played on this team before. J.B. Henniger had Henry, who's now at University of Texas. Harrison Wu had his brother Dixon, who also now goes to University of Texas. And Ryan Collins, who we saw get that first point of the game, his brother is actually in the military right now. So he took a completely different route from the Austin College experience that a lot of these young men usually go for. Over to the middle. Out of bounds to the goal line. And it'll be thrown right back in. So that'll be out of bounds. Last touched by the Veritas defenders, guys. And it will be thrown back in for an opportunity of a penalty kick. So Charlie Palmer will be the one bringing it in. The corner kick goes out. It is up and it is blocked. A well-sought block there by number 7, Thomas Lassiter. And over to our side is number 10, Ben Vaughn. We mentioned earlier the high school football kicker who actually had the game-winning kick in a game against Houston earlier this year. A big game that helped bring their football team up in the playoff. To the left. Bringing that all the way to the left side is Ben Vaughn. And he gets pushed on the ground. It will be a foul on that play. Got a little bit roughed up on that one. Never want to have that happen. Never want to see possibility of injury out here. But that is why you play the game. You know there is a risk within this sport. Vaughn will kick it right back in. Opportunity here arises for Ben Vaughn. He curves it over and right into the chest of the defender's goalie, who will now kick it up all the way to the other side of the field. And we'll see the legs of Shepard Smithfield. Over to the left side, it is no good. Smithfield saw an opening but had to get around that defender, missing it to the left side and into the goal line. Last one to touch it, so it'll be brought right back in by Regents. The Knights goalie will kick that one over to the left side. And a good stop, avoiding it from going out of bounds by number 7, Thomas Lassiter. Kicked over to the left. Avoided by Micah McGinty. McGinty to the left side, but actually into the legs of another Knight. Able to recover here and get the ball on his own is number 14, Henry Olszewczyk. Number 21, that's J.B. Henniger. Over to the leg of number 9, Ryan Collins, who had the first goal of the game earlier. Shuffles it a little bit, trying to avoid it from going out of bounds. Gets it right past a couple of other guys. Into the right side and stays on the line for a little bit before going out of bounds. So he crawled on that line for a little bit. It was almost like a bunt down the third baseline in baseball that just stayed on the line for the longest time, but they let it just crawl right back out. Let this thing continue. Trying to get their breath a little bit and catch up and bring back some stamina. Missing a couple of the offenders. Now bring it back to the defense. We see Ben Vaughn. Vaughn over here to the left side. Kicking it back over to number 6. That's Luke Driver. Driver back to Vaughn. Vaughn able to give pass a couple of defenders over to number 21. That's J.B. Henniger. Henniger gets it back. Over to number 6 again. Luke Driver. Over to the corner. Able to stop that from going out of bounds. Finds an opening. Finds another opening. And back over to Ben Vaughn. Vaughn Trying to push his way through, unable to get past any of these guys. And now the table's turned for a little bit before it goes out of bounds. No, it stays in! It stayed in! Backhanded stop by number 8. Luke Massey. Massey. Ball goes out of bounds yet again. Into number 6, Luke Driver. Back over to the defender's side. Before being taken again by one of the Knights. That was number 3, Harrison Wu. Over to the right side. Back over to number 10, Ben Vaughn. Vaughn kicks it over to Collins, who was unable to make that one. They tried to keep the momentum of Ryan Collins from earlier. And unable to do so. They will call a foul on that play for the goalie. It looked like he tripped up number 9, Ryan Collins. A little too rough on that one. That's actually number 7, Thomas Lassiter. And Lassiter really tried to put his leg out there, make a stop on that one, get another opening to find the net, but unfortunately couldn't take his time on that one. Caught a leg of the goalie. Fall right back over. You can tell that he is in a little bit of pain, but he's alright. He's back in the ball game. Dribbles it like a basketball player there. Kicks it up and over. Back over into Knights territory. Knights. Vaughn. Ben Vaughn kicking up the middle. Vaughn trying to create an opening. Vaughn unable to do so, but ricochets off of the legs into the possession. Number 6, Luke Driver, who's being his own game. Driver will throw it now back in. Driver finds Vaughn. Vaughn back over to Driver. Driver goes over to the left side. Collins is right there over to that left side. Trying to find an opening. Collins kicks it, but isn't no good. Collins gets it right back. A second chance opportunity here. Vaughn gets it. 21. J.B. Henniger. And out of bounds. And they'll be thrown right back in by number 15, Evan Vaughn. Evan and Ben Vaughn are the two brothers on the team. And out of bounds over to the goal line. So a little bit of action early on. 27 minutes and 40 seconds left to go here in this first quarter of action. It's still a 1-0 ball game for Austin Regents. Over to the right side, kicked up and going. Oh, making some space over to the right. Vaughn whiffs on that one. He wanted it badly, but was unable to get through it. He just went right in between his legs, almost like that Yu Darvish perfect game that got blown in 2013. A whiffed kick by number 15, Braden Nelson. That'll eventually go out of bounds, courtesy of number 3, Harrison Wu. Goes back over to Ben Vaughn. Vaughn tries to create open space over to the left. Crosses it over to the right side. Stopped, made by number 10, Hut Epps. Epps! Goal! Hut Epps with a big play on that one, making a stop and kicking it right back over the head of all the defenders. 1-1. We got ourselves a tie ball game. Almost like a 3-point shot on that one. You know, it's crazy to think if that was, this was a game of basketball, you'd probably credit him with like 5 points. Wouldn't you say, Justin?
I would say so.
Absolutely, absolutely. Almost like a dude perfect trick shot on that one. Vaughn now trying to get a recovery back up the middle. Kicked over to the left side. That's number 14, Henry Olszewski. And there will be foul on that play as it got a little physical over here to the left side. Looked like number 9, Ryan Collins, got a little bit too handsy with number 14, Henry Olszewski. And kick is up with a little bit of spin over to Evan Vaughn. Into the penalty box. Nothing going on that one. Kick goes up. Stop made. Crossed over to the left. Kicked up in the air to the left side. Missing both the heads of number 7, Thomas Lecaster, and number 5, Daniel Copeland. Off the head, over to the left. Close field possession. Now switching it back over to Regents side. It is a foul on that play. Got tripped up by a couple of defenders on that one. Was one of those nights. 1-1 still to score here in this first quarter of action in Austin, Texas. Right side. Vaughn trying to buy some time and avoid it from going in their own goal, and they just go ahead and kick it to the left, try and get it out of bounds as quickly as possible. And this provides an opportunity here for a corner shot. Whiffed on that kick. No foul called. Stopped there and brought back into Knights territory before being intercepted yet again. This time it's number 13, Jed Fuller. Fuller's right there for it. Number 23, Patrick Kanata. Shuffling past a couple defenders. Kanata! Goal! Patrick Kanata! A goal of his own. He responds to that Hut Epps goal from earlier and said, anything you can do, I can do better, and just gets it right over the head of a couple defenders. Perfectly executed. Perfect arc right into the back of the net. 2-1. We have ourselves a new ball game in the first quarter. Right side. And almost playing mucky in the middle with number 9, Ryan Collins. A little bit of frustration on that one, as you can see from Collins. They were able to buy some time on that one. Ben Vaughn with an opportunity now to change up this game a bit. And it is going to go past the goal line. Still a 2-1 ball game here in Austin, Texas. Trying to figure out now the issue with the crowd mic. (22-46) to score. Wait, 22-46. 22 minutes and 46 seconds is the time on the clock. Jeez. The amount of action, the amount of fast speaking has already got me all kinds of trapped up here. Kick is going to go out to the right side, over the heads of a couple of other guys, bringing it to the left side. That's number 21, Shepard Smithfield. Unable to come up with anything, bringing it back over to number 18, Beckham Chonowicz. And it is out of bounds, going to be taken by Thomas Lassiter. Lassiter finds an open guy over to the left side, making a couple of adjustments there, making a couple of shuffle moves. Kick is out. Collins missing it, however, going right back to Collins to the left side. Making some open space for Vaughn. Vaughn does not come away with it. Goes all the way back to the defender's side of the field. So the Knights will try again to make some action happen. This kick goes out of bounds. Last touch by number 15, Braden Nelson. Collapsed on the field right after. Ball is thrown out. To the right side. Making a stop on that kick and bringing the momentum back over to the Knights side of the field. Kick over to Collins. Collins misses it, and this is going to go right past all the other guys. Evan Vaughn crossing his way around, doing a little bit of a movements there. Ball thrown right back in. Vaughn over to Vaughn. Barely missing the hands. Oh, a little bit of a shove there by number 23, Patrick Kanata. No call on that play. Now number 21, Shepard Smithville. Number 21, J.B. Henniger find themselves on the field. Ball is going to go out of bounds. 19 minutes and 53 seconds left on the clock here in this first quarter of action here in Austin, Texas. Kick goes right back to the goalie. Goalie puts it out to the left side. Finding some open space for the 11-man. Got number 21, Shepard Smithville. Putting a little bit of arc on that kick over to the right side, and it's going to go out of bounds. Last touch there by number 3, Harrison Wu. And you gotta love that there's just random little Christmas lights out right behind the field, and you can see them from the backyards of some of these houses that are just right behind the soccer pitch or football pitch. 18 minutes and 48 seconds left here on the clock. A substitution is currently being made right now. Number 17, Logan Fosses, comes in for number 8, Luke Massey, for the Knights. Kick is up, and it is no good. That was kicked by number 23, Patrick Kanata, trying to make his second goal of the game. Got a little too much height on that ball. Almost made a field goal on that one. Still 2-1 the score in this first quarter of action. Back at it again. Ball stays in bounds. Kicked over to the left side. Brought in bounds. Kick goes up and over to the right side with a lot of arc on that one. Collins keeping it in play. Collins staying with the ball. Collins is up. No! Great attempt there by Ryan Collins, who was unable to make that kick there. His brother Connor, who we mentioned was in the military, had already played on this team in previous years. Collins decides to get a little more into the action, and Collins able to break up a couple of offensive stops from the midcourt. Falling to the ground and unable to get any calls is number 10, Hut Epps. The substitution, number 17, Logan Foss, is going out. Vaughn back to Fosses. Fosses gets stripped away by number 13, Jed Fueler. And this goes out of bounds. It's kind of tough to see from this area that we're broadcasting from because you can't really get necessarily right over the pitch. Big stop there by number 21. That's J.B. Henniger. Back over to Collins. Stopped by Collins. And yeah, this is just a matchup that you're wanting to see that's close, high scoring, and filled with action as there's an open field right now for number 5 who does not get open enough. That was number 5, Daniel Copeland, on that play. Game will continue as usual. So for those of y'all that don't or have not been within my broadcast throughout the season, whether it be volleyball or football, I like to do a segment at about the halfway point of the ball game or after the first quarter of the ball game, which is today in Texas sports. And I inspired that from the idea that especially in high school football, most head coaches, especially in the state of Texas, are usually history teachers. So that being said, it only made sense that there be a little bit of Texas history involved within our broadcast on the Vype Sports Media Network that cover the state of Texas. So we will get right to that in the second quarter of action, right at the beginning of it. Couple of spin moves there, bringing the ball back over to number 21, J.B. Henniger. J.B. missing that one. Back over to the right side. And I gotta say, this campus is absolutely beautiful. I came over here at about 4 o'clock to kind of situate everything up, and I thought for a second I was on a college campus for a little bit. Definitely something to see. Kick goes up, and it is no good. Just over the right corner of the net, almost past the uprights. Kick goes up. To the left side. "13 minutes and 21 seconds left to go here in this first period of action. Couple of swift kicks there to get it over and through the uprights. Number 10, Hut Epps, tried to get his second goal of the ball game. Had the shot there, but lost his footing, causing that ball to just go up and over the front right side of the net. 2-1 still to score, which will lead us to a corner. Kick is up. Corner shot opportunity is no good there. Gotta love audio issues, especially on these broadcasts. 11:40 left on the clock here in Austin, Texas. To the left side. Brought back over by number 9, Collins, kicking it right into the back of number 40, Lucas Erb. And a little bit of tumbling over to the left side and unable to come away with anything. That was number 5, Daniel Copeland, colliding with number 8, Luke Massey. Excuse me, that's number 6, Luke Driver. Bringing in a brand new situation. An opportunity here to tie this ball game up. Last 10 minutes on the clock in this first period of action. Goalie brings it up and over. A big kick. Chest ball there. To the right side, right on the line of the field, and bringing it right back over. No, it actually went out of bounds. So it touched the line and just went to the right side, causing it to go out. And a little bit of a collision there. It was number 21, Shepard Smithiel, colliding with number 20, Cohen Wiederanders. Out of bounds yet again. 9 minutes and 35 seconds left on the clock here in Austin, Texas. This kick by number 7, Thomas Lacasser. Over to the left side. Just past the head of Thomas Lacasser. Side kick by number 17, Logan Fossis, is no good. And it's just going to go get kicked out on the right side by number 24, Crawford Heininger. And it's a 2-1 ball game. Eight minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock in this first quarter of action. These kicks over to the left and right. I should be able to get some score updates from around the state of Texas later in just a moment, so hopefully we'll be able to get that and tell you what else is happening around the state. To the left. It's no good, up into the trees. Thomas Lassater finding the open opportunity. Excuse me, that was number 9, Ryan Collins. Getting just underneath that ball and bringing it up into the air, almost into the parking lot. And there is a yellow card on the pitch, given over to number 14, Henry Olszewski. So he will have to come out of this game for a little bit after that play. Now this will bring in a substitution here in number 15, Braden Nelson, the freshman at forward. Up over to the left. Finding some wide open space for Vaughn. Ben Vaughn unable to come away with that one. Misses slightly to the right on that one. Vaughn getting it back over. Kicked out and over to the middle. Head ball there by number 19, Pearson Whalen. Right back over to the goalie. And there's a little bit of confusion there. Looking like number 6, Luke Driver, just got right past the penalty box. I think that's what the goalie was confused of. But trying to move along from that regardless. Kicks back over to the left side of the field. Routinely into the hands of the goalie. However, not sure what's going on here. It appears that number 3. Are they calling that on William Schultz? Not sure what just happened there on that play. Regardless, what I could hear was the yelling over to the right side. I mean, despite the fact the crowd mic doesn't work, I could still hear the fans yelling something. He missed, or something. I'm not sure what exactly is going on. To the left side. Shuffling it a little bit, making some open space in between those two guys. Over to the right side. Blocked by number 2, Micah McGinty. And they will call a penalty kick on this play. So an opportunity here for number 10, Ben Vaughn, to tie this ball game up. Vaughn, the varsity kicker on the football team, with an opportunity here to tie this one up with 4 minutes 50 seconds left on the clock. Penalty kick is blocked by the goalie, and number 7, Thomas Lassiter, made some contact there with the goalie, and it looked like he was trying to plead his case there, but to no avail. Number 10, Hut Epps. Epps running with it. Epps gets it poked out. However, number 14, Henry Olszewski, back in this game. Kicking over, up and around. And bringing it back over to the opposing goalie. 4 minutes left on the clock in this first quarter of action. Backhanded kick there. Number 21, Shepard Smithfield, kicking it past number 21, J.B. Heiniger. Excuse me, it was actually J.V. who kicked it right past Shepard. Bring it back over to number 6, Luke Driver. Driver was able to make a couple cool kicks on that one before bringing it back over up in the middle. It was number 24, Crawford Heiniger, who kicked it over to the possession of number 17, Logan Fosses. And back with it now is number 18, Beckham Chanowicz. And Chanowicz getting past a couple of hard hit kicks. Kick goes over to the left side. It is no good. Number 17, Logan Fosses, unable to come away with that one. Two minutes and 36 seconds left on the clock. And out of bounds, number 10, Ben Vaughn. Kicks it right back out of bounds. Vaughn is able to get it right back, however, before being stuffed out of the way by number 21, Shepard Smithiel. But Luke Driver was able to push his way through a bit before being stopped on that one. So you got to love the effort there. And Ben Vaughn has an opportunity there for a penalty kick. Opportunity here to tie this ball game up before we switch halves and continue it at 0-0. The kick is up, and it is going to go a little bit to the left. It is no good. It is blocked. A huge block on that play. Luke Driver looked to have an open space, but you got to love the effort by the defender's goalie, who was able to make a stop on that one, keeping their lead at 2-1. Couple of stops there, and falling to the ground is Driver. Bringing the ball back into their possession is number 21, Heiniger. Over to the left side, finding some open space, kicking it over. Off the face of number 10, Hunt Epps, who was able to eat that one and keep that from... It almost went into their own goal. It almost scored off his head. 40 seconds left on the clock. Kicking it back over to the opposing goalie. Try and reset. Nice stop there by number 18, Isael Hernandez. Kick off the shins, and Vaughn will get it himself. Vaughn will run over to the right side where he finds some open space. Kick running between the legs. No good. Stopped off the left leg of number 24, Crawford Heiniger. But not for long, as they're able to get possession back. And a huge stop there to stop number 3, William Schultz. And there will be a flag on that play. Foul on that play. And that is the end of this first period of action. The score is 2-1, and we will go to a 10-minute halftime here on the Vype Sports Media Network. 2-1 the score here. The Veritas defenders lead. We will go to a commercial break and take a break here on coverage. We'll be right back here on the Vype Sports Media Network in Austin, Texas, right after this. who literally makes the rules. Back in the action here on the Vype Sports Media Network. It is a 2-1 ball game here in Austin, Texas. The second quarter of action gets underway here. If I can get the score back down. Making a mistake here. Now, as we saw earlier, the Knights were able to get some early momentum. They got a quick goal to start this ball game and looked like the momentum was on their side. However, we saw Veritas come in with a little bit of action of their own, getting back-to-back goals very quickly as the song jump around plays in this arena or at this field. Gotta love the discussions that me and Justin were having at halftime talking about old school WWF and how much of wrestling fans we are, especially in regards to the Attitude Era. Very interesting time to be a sports fan and be a wrestling fan. Definitely something I feel that they will make a documentary about so many times within the next 50, 60 years. So the field switched sides now. The Knights are able to get a little bit of momentum going, trying to get their heads back in the game. Missing that kick was Ben Vaughn, who tried to just spear his way over there. And a shove there, putting number 13, Jed Fuller, to the ground. He will get right back up, though. He seems to be all right. Number 10, Hut Epps, who made the first goal of the game for the defenders, is the one who kicks this one off. Over to the left side. It is number 13, Jed Fuller. Back over to the left now. Going right back up the middle. Number 21, Shepard Smithmill. Unable to hold on to it. However, it doesn't seem to matter as the kick goes over to the left side. It's up and it is blocked. Number 23, Patrick Kanata, tried to get his second goal of the game. But a great stop there. And the Knights keep this thing within reach. A big stop there, but unable to do much. Other than that, Lucas Erb stuck with it. And it's stolen there by number 21, Shepard Smithville. Before it went out of bounds. That's going to be thrown right back in. Over the heads. And unfortunately, number 24, Crawford Heiniger, unable to get that ball back. Over up the middle. A block. That block was able to stop the momentum and the possible tie game we were about to have from the kick from number 18, Beckham Chonowicz. And as we mentioned earlier, here in just a second, I'm going to mention some Texas history that happened on this day, as I would in any other segment throughout the season. As we know, a lot of coaches, especially football coaches, are also history teachers, and we like to implement that with the segment that I always like to do every single game that I do of Today in Texas History. So we will do that here in just a moment. The whistle blows, ball goes out of bounds. So this is presented by OnThisDay.com, so let's get into it. First off, 1755. In 1755, near San Antonio, the stone church at Mission Concepcion was dedicated. In 1857, B County was formed from portions of San Patricio, Goliad, Refugio, Live Oak, and Karnes counties. In 1914, the Southwest Intercollegiate Athletic Conference was created, and it later became known as the Southwest Conference, which, as a Texas Tech fan, up until this last Saturday, was the last conference that Texas Tech won. But, after what happened at AT&T Stadium against BYU, we could say otherwise. In 1943, Captain John A.E. Bergstrom was killed at Clark Field, Philippine Islands. He was the first World War II casualty from Austin, Texas. Austin Bergstrom International Airport was named after him. And the Texas quote comes from Mary Laswell, and it reads, "I am forced to conclude that God made Texas on his day off for pure entertainment, just to prove that all that diversity could be crammed into one section of earth by a really top hand." I'll tell you what, that's quite the quote. You usually get either very broad quotes on this day, you either get really deep quotes, but that's one where it's like, that kind of makes sense. God bless Texas and God bless America, but at the same time, it's like God also said, what could I do with this? I also find it interesting, this is the first time that we do one of these On This Day segments where it doesn't go up to the 2000s where we mention football or any other sport. So, like we mentioned, that is onthisday.com's presentation of Today in Texas History. Still have ourselves a 2-1 ball game here, 35 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock in the second quarter of the action. To the left side, pummeling a couple of dudes, and there will be a foul on that play, as it looked like number 10 Hut Epps made a tumble along with number 10 Ben Vaughn. Actually, that's number 18 Beckham Chanowicz falling to the ground on that one, and it will end up with Chanowicz getting an opportunity here for this penalty kick. Ben Vaughn stands to his right. 4 defenders up front, 3 in the back. 1 over to the left side. The kick is up, and it is no good. Curved it too far to the left side. Number 18 Beckham Chanowicz unable to come away with that one. Hopefully within the next couple of games I do, we'll actually have the crowd mic on, because it's very interesting to hear the atmosphere of a completely different sport that is still outdoors, and soccer definitely has it, and I wish that y'all could actually hear this right now, but there was a couple of issues technical wise. Over to the left in defender's territory. Pushing a couple guys out of the way, kicking it up and over to the left, and it goes past the goal line. Still 2-1 the score. Well, Justin, I know it's definitely interesting, especially considering the fact that in other countries soccer is considered football. However, in most cases, especially in the MLS, if you don't have your own soccer arena or stadium, you play in NFL stadiums. So that relation between the two footballs has to have some kind of meaning to it, wouldn't you think?
I would say so.
Kick over up in the middle. Up high in the air, looking like a punt from Justin Tucker. Looking like a Justin Tucker punt. And it goes out of bounds. Kick over to the left side, brought over to the right side. Up the middle. Just past the goal line. believe it was last touched by number 2, Micah McGinty. So we might see an opportunity here for the corner shot, and we will. So opportunity here for the Knights to draw this thing up. Start a new ball game. The kick. No good! Just over the right corner of the net. Ryan Collins barely missing that second goal of the ball game and would have tied this thing up. We could have literally said it was two defenders, two Collins. But we remain with a 2-1 ball game instead. A strike shot right there and stopped. Bringing some momentum and speed, and before being taken out of bounds, that's number 21, J.B. Heiniger, who had gotten some momentum on that play. And it goes out of bounds on that play. This thing will continue. To the left. Up into the right side. And head-butted out of bounds. 30 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock here in this final quarter of action. Thrown right back in. Up in the air. To the left. And it goes out of bounds. He just kind of sideswipes it over to the left side. That was number 7, Thomas Lassiter. On that kick. Kick goes out to the right side and once again out of bounds, hitting the back porch of the houses. Stolen there on momentum, but able to bring it back over. Over to the left side, it is no good. Kick attempt there by number 14, Henry Olszewski. And it is now 29 minutes and 22 seconds left on the clock here in this second quarter. I tell you what, I gotta love the shots that Justin's been getting throughout this entire game. He's been able to capture the action of this entire ball game and done an excellent job of keeping up with the fast action that comes with the game of soccer. Gotta love it. To the right. Passing a couple more. And there's a little bit of confusion on the field as there was a foul call there against the Knights. This is number 9. No, excuse me. I think that's number 8. Luke Messi getting a call on that play. Opportunity comes here for Ben Vaughn to tie this thing up. To the left. And Collins was able to get in front of it, but not able to execute on the final plan. He was able to draw up the design, but unable to go forward with the plan. Still 2-1. Kicked over to the right side, and it is incomplete. I am over here using football terms. Football terms. Are you serious right now? Incomplete. We are watching football. That is correct, Justin. We are watching football. Should have given you a mic as well. I should have brought you a mic as well, Justin. I'll be sure to remember that next time. I feel like if I were to give Justin a mic in this game, all it's going to be is nothing but wrestling terms the whole time. We're going to be pretending to be JR the whole time. My God! Any single time that like a small inconvenience happens on the field. Could be fun. To the right. And a little bit past. There's a scramble for the ball. Number 18, Isai Hernandez, the center defending midfielder. Unable to come away with that. Kick goes up over the middle. Collins. It was in the possession of Collins, but unable to actually get anything done with it. What a block! A huge block on that play by number 9, Ryan Collins, the striker. Excuse me, that's actually number 15. That's Evan Vaughn making that play. Doing his Scott Serling impression on that one. Right up the middle. Got as close as he possibly could. And that thing ricocheted off of him at some high velocity there. A Nolan Ryan fastball-like velocity. 25 minutes and 23 seconds left on the clock in the second quarter of action. We see the goalie out there almost just kind of like, oh, let's get some action going. And he tried to touch the top of the net, almost tried to dunk it. This ball goes out of bounds, and we remain at midfield. Over a couple of heads and out of bounds yet again. We are still within midfield. This thing has not moved, and it looks like it's about to. A little bit out of bounds. Just past the goal line on that one. Number 9, Ryan Collins, kicking that back net on that play. 24 minutes and 39 seconds on the clock. An opportunity for a corner shot. It will be thrown by number 18, Isai Hernandez. We're going to kick this thing away. Opportunity to tie it up right here. Kick is up. Collins. Nothing going there. Still 2-1. Collins able to get it back. Collins pushing his way through, and it's going to go out of bounds yet again. Last touch by number 21, the junior Shepard Smithfield at midfield. Smithfield at midfield. Kick is up, and it is no good. A line drive kick by number 21, J.B. Heininger, the junior right back. 23 minutes and 35 seconds on the clock. It is 8:13 p.m. in Austin, Texas. It feels like it's at least 11 p.m. And I know I have multiple times talked about my thoughts on daylight savings time on these broadcasts, but when you realize that this time in June it would still be sunlight, the sun is not even close to being down, and right now it feels like I got a couple hours until 2 a.m. when in reality it's not even dinner time for most people. That's an odd feeling. It's funny, I think TJ Villa and I actually talked about that on our broadcast against Yorktown. It was the football game in Giddings between the Granger Lions and the Yorktown Wildcats, where we last mentioned our thoughts on daylight savings time. Madeline Cuellar and I have had numerous discussions about it on our broadcast of Maynard Mustangs football. And how it just makes it look so dark, so late. Kick up the middle to the left side. To the right, and this thing's going to go out of bounds. Last touched by number 10, Ben Vaughn. Over a couple of heads and up, and it is goal! Number 23, Patrick Kanata, with his second goal of the game, opening this thing up to a 3-1 match. And you can see number 4, Charlie Palmer, actually look at the crowd and kind of silence them, it looks like. Little bit of smack talk. Patrick Kanata, the forward, the senior, making his statement in this game, which has seemed to be a slightly heated one in Austin, Texas. This ball is going to go out of bounds. For those of y'all just tuning in, this is coverage of the Austin Regents Knights soccer team. Austin Regent Knights Soccer, presented by Vype Sports Media Network. Kick is up and over a couple of heads before it goes right back into possession of the defenders. So Veritas has a 3-1 lead here in this game. Two of these goals by Patrick Kanata, one of them coming off of the leg of Hugh Epps. So the seniors making their statements known in this game. 19 minutes and 53 seconds left on the clock here in this second quarter of action. What we watched earlier was a 6-1 game or so from the previous girls' game. So while we were setting up and getting ready, there was a high-scoring game before this one. Makes you realize just how interesting soccer can really get. Out of bounds. $18 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock. What's been sounding really good, some Austin, Texas barbecue while I'm here. And of course, you know, it's a little late, so it's unfortunate, but you know, despite the fact I only live about 30 minutes from Austin, I'm very rarely in the actual capital city itself. always in Round Rock, Cedar Park, or Taylor, Hutto, Georgetown, literally any other city, Pflugerville sometimes. But anytime I'm in Austin, I'm always reminded about the barbecue here, the tenderism as it's now said on TikTok. There's a trend now going on where people will see any like barbecue food or anything like that, they'll shake it a little bit and it'll be so tender it'll fall off the bone or something. And then after they see how tender it is, Justin, you may or may not have seen this, they'll take their glasses that they're wearing, or they'll grab glasses and they'll throw it on the table, full-blown Randy Johnson 100 miles an hour for some reason. Why it is, I don't know, but it's funny. That trend's going on. Still got to deal with the 6-7 stuff. Still don't even know what that means, but that's also just now caught on. And of course, I mean, I actually had this I think TJ and I actually talked about, no, TJ and I talked about it in between our breaks, the last game we called. We both agreed 6-7 in this generation is the current generation's revenge towards us for that 9+10 thing. Which, of course, Justin doesn't know that one either. Fair enough. Honestly, Justin's brain is saved, is what that means. Justin's brain is purely saved from all of that. So we'll keep it that way. I won't tell him about it. We'll leave it be. It's for the best. Possession now going back over to the Austin Knights side. Another opportunity for a penalty kick. Number 10, Ben Vaughn, standing next to number 9, Ryan Collins, with an opportunity here to tie this thing back up. 16 minutes and 25 seconds left on the clock. Three defenders up the middle, one to the right. Kick is up by Collins, and it is no good. Collins airmailing it a little much to the left side. Time continues. 3-1 still the score. I said it would have tied it up. It would have made it a 1-point game. Correction. Completely forgot that we've come to learn this game that Patrick Canada is just a dog on the field. Can't even hate on that. Kick to the left. Goes out of bounds, but they will keep this momentum rolling. Throwing it out to the left side. Up in the air. Takes a high bounce. Goes over to the left and back out of bounds. It was last touched by one of the defenders. So Veritas will attempt to keep this thing out of reach for the Knights. This one goes out of bounds yet again. Luke Driver starting something on that one. This one goes back into Knights territory. Kick goes over to the left. It is scooped up by the goalie, who kicks it high up in the air to the left side. That is a solid kick. Good headbutt shot over to the left side and goes out of bounds. On the sideline. Down the line. Right back, JB. Making a couple stops on that one. And a spin move there by number 18, the center defending midfielder, Isaiah Hernandez. Falling to the ground on that one is number 21, JB Heiniger. Kick is up, and it is no good. And into the street, into the night. Kick attempt by number 23, Patrick Canada, trying to get the hat trick on that one. and instead goes out of bounds, and that ball is long gone. They are going to go retrieve it. Driver. Over to Hernandez. Back over to Vaughn. Ben Vaughn. And this will go past the goal line, and it will be an opportunity for a corner shot. So this is where the game gets intense right here. If you're Austin, you have a lot to worry about, but you also know that you got to get momentum going. You got 12 minutes and 53 seconds on the clock to get 2 goals. You get this first one, and you start a momentum shift for your team. Kick is up. Missed opportunity there for Austin. A backhanded kick. Brought back over and missed. Up to the left. No good. So number 18, Isaiah Hernandez. Number 20, Cohen Wiederanders. And number 15, Evan Vaughn, were all on that play, and none of them were able to capitalize. Hernandez. And this one's going to go out of bounds. Last touched by number 9. Excuse me, that's actually number 7, Thomas Lassiter. It is a 3-1 ball game here. 11 minutes and 52 seconds on the clock here in this final quarter of action. Back into Knight's possession. Changing momentum here. A big block there by number 20, Cohen Wiederanders. And the ball will end up out of bounds. It was last kicked out by number 13, Jed Fueller, the senior. And one thing that we notice here within these last couple minutes is that Veritas is doing a wonderful job of keeping composure. They're trying to make sure they keep that ball as far away from the Austin Knights goal to avoid a possibility of a close game, keeping it open, but also knowing they still have one goal to work with. Or if things go wrong and they give up that first one, they still have another one to work with. That is one reason why you want that 2-point lead, especially in a big game of soccer like this. In a heated rivalry and a heated exchange of blows, you want that confidence and that comfort in knowing that you at least have that leeway. You have another source to look towards. I mean, there is no 2-pointers in soccer. There is no 3-pointers in soccer. It's all 1-1-1-1-1. So you know just how big of a deficit a 3-1 lead is. The kick goes over to left. It's goal! Isaiah Hernandez. The senior defending midfielder now gives a little bit of worrisome to Veritas. A 3-2 game And this is what I was mentioning just a second ago. You have an opportunity here to keep this game in reach. If you are the Austin Knights. If you're Veritas, you know that it is significant that you keep the game within at least a 2-point lead. But you also know that you at least have that one goal to work with. If not, a 1-point deficit in soccer is so much more significant than people realize. It's also very easy to get rid of. Hernandez! I think Hernandez might have heard me that whole time. He said, hold up now, what did you say about this being a hard lead to come back from? Let me just do it myself real quick. Wow! Isai Hernandez, within less than a minute, changed this game's complexity completely upside down. And that is clutch right there. Finding some open space, making some leeway there, and finding the slight mistakes that Veritas was making. There will be a foul on that play. Taking a tumble was number 23, Patrick Kanata. So Ryan Collins and Isai Hernandez make up the 3 goals the Knights have been able to grab themselves. The defenders must find a way to get that momentum back. Find a way to get yourself in a groove that you had earlier. You had a good groove going. You were able to get 2 points quickly. Now you just found out that this opposing team can do the very same thing. It's about who's going to find that gapper first. Six minutes and 43 seconds left on the clock. This thing could, I believe, go into an overtime. I think it's going to be a kickoff, of course. This thing goes just past the sideline. It is out of bounds. 6 minutes and 28 seconds left on the clock. Past a couple of guys, falling to the ground, unable to get any calls, is number 10, Hut Epps, who has one of the 3 Veritas defenders' goals tonight. And there is a lot of defense going on, a lot of lockdowns going on the right side. And Veritas is not letting Austin get past this midfield easily. They are becoming a tough task. Getting it back and falling to the ground. And falling again as it goes past the sideline. Number 21, Shepard Smithiel. And number 21, J.B. Heiniger, get crossed up in the mix. 5 minutes and 12 seconds left on the clock in a game that turned from an open gap into a completely tied up ball game, and an opportunity here for Veritas to decide to bring this thing back to where it was before. Kick is missed there on that one. Number 10, Hut Epps, almost got his second goal of the ball game. And the whistle blows on that one. And the Tides will turn right back over as Veritas will get the ball back. 4 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. 8:34 p.m. is the time. Couple of guys getting twisted up in the mix, falling both to the ground. Kick to the left side, kick back over to the right. Finding his way over to the left, over towards the sideline, able to miss the sideline barely, and now goes into the sideline and out of bounds. 3 minutes and 42 seconds left on the clock. The last couple quarters of action. Kick over to the left. Passing a couple defenders, but able to get it right back over to stop some damage. Ben Vaughn over to Collins. Back over to the left side, finding some more open space, and Ben Vaughn, the varsity kicker, unable to keep away with it. There comes Hernandez, though. Playing locked down, trying to create some space, and it goes just out of bounds. To the left, out of bounds. 2 minutes and 5 seconds left on the clock. So used to seeing this become a 2-minute timeout in most cases. Well, after today's temperature of a high of 58 degrees, tomorrow's supposed to get almost 10 degrees higher with a high of 66, followed by back-to-back days in the 70s, then going up to 76 on Saturday before dropping back down to 62 and 58. The kick is missed over to the left side. And what we will see in the last couple seconds, 1 minute and 27 seconds on the clock, is a corner shot opportunity for Veritas to take the lead in the last minute of action. The opportunity is there. The book is open. Big stop there. Kick over to the left. It is offsides, it looks like. Bringing the action up and over to the right. 38 seconds left to go. Into his shins and out of bounds back into the road. Well, that is a hazard for any oncoming drivers. That's got to be scary. 20 seconds left. Ten seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Kick is up. Oh, almost an opportunity to take the lead, and it will end. That is the end of regulation here in Austin, Texas. We got ourselves a tied 3-3 game. We'll be right back after this message on the Vype Sports Media Network. And after what we saw, the clutch performance there by Eli Hernandez, scoring those last 2 goals in less than a minute, we have ourselves a game that ended No, hold up here. It sounds like they're going to do a shootout. There is going to be a shootout. They were dabbing up earlier, and it looked like they were originally going to just end the ball game, but no, there is going to be a shootout, it sounds like. So we have free soccer here in Austin, Texas. So the overtime shootout will take place. We will have a winner today. We're not going to go home in a draw. It was confusing at first. It looked like they weren't going to do it because they just started shaking hands, but it appears they are going to go for it. And now I can't tell if that's Rocky music playing in the background or what that is.
Rocky.
That's Rocky?
That's Rocky.
I was about to say, I thought that was... At first I thought it was Rocky, but I was like, this has to be one of the other Rocky movies, I think.
Oh, no.
This is Rocky 1?
This is Rocky getting ready to fight Apollo.
Oh, yeah, sure enough. See, it's funny, the only songs, or like, I guess tracks I remember from Rocky, other than the iconic ones, the one I remember most is the one from Rocky 4, the friggin' montage.
Oh, yeah.
The Russian montage where he's running through the snow, and you see Apollo, or not Apollo, Ivan Drago being almost treated like a machine in a way. It's just a da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's the most 80s track you've ever heard. I cannot be defeated. It's the most 80s track you've ever heard in your entire life in the background playing. So what we will do is we will go to a commercial break here on the Vype Sports Media Network, and we'll be right back with some overtime action right after this. So in that confusion, what we thought was a game that was going into overtime turns out to just be a game they're calling it a draw. We heard the PA announcer say there was going to be a kickoff or final kick opportunity, but it looks like they just won't do that. So this game will end in a draw, as a matter of fact. Final score 3-3. So much confusion after that, but that will end the ball game. So that'll do it for today's coverage here on the Vype Sports Media Network. And we want to thank everybody for listening in. As like I mentioned earlier, this is my first time calling football, and I'm sure a lot of y'all could tell. So it was a lot of fun regardless. For Skylar Gillespie over my QA. For Suda Venkat, our broadcasting director. For Suda Venkat, our product manager. For Merle Bertrand, our broadcast director. For Justin Davis, the guy who came in and decided to film for me. That was awesome. I want to say I appreciate Austin Regents for providing me with all this access, including a booth at last minute. I got to thank them for that, because that was a late night email less than 24 hours ago that was sent, and I was still able to get this done from, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for that. And for everyone here with our wonderful crew at Vype Sports Media Network, I'm Dalton Brown saying thank y'all for listening. Good night to everybody here in Austin, Texas. We'll see y'all next time with some more coverage of Austin Regents Knights soccer. Good night, everybody.